Welcome to a special edition of Hard Talk with me, Stephen Sacker. Today's program comes from one of Asia's fastest growing economies, the Philippines, a nation being transformed by urbanization and globalization, a developing country building a unique identity as an offshore service provider for the rich world. But the Philippines faces a challenge. Can its economic growth keep pace with a dramatic rise in population? Or has the country's demography become a poverty trap? Late night in Manila, the only time the congested roads flow freely. The Philippines' capital has become a vast web of connected cities known as Metro Manila. Though no one quite knows, it's thought to be home to at least 25 million people. It's one of the world's biggest urban areas. The most precious asset in Manila is a steady job, which is why throughout the night, tens of thousands of Filipinos are hard at work.
All right, so may I have your telephone number, please?
So, how many of those?
These people are foot soldiers in a new army dedicated to offshore business services. The Philippines has become the call center capital of the world. Dine Tubbs works through the night, 5 nights a week. You are responsible for this whole floor, so give me a sense of the scale of the operation here.
So we have about 470 seats in this production floor and about 700 employees. So that's from management up to the representatives you're seeing right now on the phone.
And right now it's around 11 o'clock at night. Are people answering the phones all night?
Yes. So we really work overnight because we have to mirror the daytime for the clients that we're supporting. So that's UK based and US based.
Right. And the young people here, what kind of skills have they got?
So the primary skill that we're looking for really is your communication skills in terms of communicating in English, obviously, and then comprehending somebody who's conversing with you in English. And then there's just minor technical skills like computer proficiency and typing and all that. But that's the main thing that we're looking for, so that you should be able to communicate effectively in English.
So, whereas in the UK, working in a call center is regarded as quite a low status job, here you're getting the cream of the graduates.
Exactly. It's a premium job here because of the pay.
How much are the people who are answering the phones here earning?
It's about 18,000 pesos a month.
So that would be about $400 US.
Yeah, thereabouts. And then they get incentives, performance bonuses. So, it can be lucrative, especially if you're in sales.
The Philippines is one of Asia's fastest growing economies, with a growth rate close to China's. And in Manila, there's plenty of evidence of new wealth. But this is not a self-sustaining economy. The single most important source of income comes from overseas. Filipino domestic servants cook for and clean up after the global elite. The cash they send home from the oil-rich Gulf states and elsewhere feeds millions of families back home. The remittances of at least 10 million Filipinos who work abroad make up almost 10% of national GDP. And that's why the government pours resources into technical education, like this academy for maids and domestic servants. Huge numbers of Filipino young women resign themselves to long-term economic exile. If you go to a country like Kuwait, how much are you going to earn?
In US dollar, just $400, sir.
$400, and that's for 1 month?
Yes, sir.
And how would that compare with a job you might get in the Philippines, back home?
Around $200 exactly.
So you can earn twice as much in Kuwait?
Exactly. Yes.
Right. And is
Twice.
Is that the only reason that you want to leave this country?
Yes.
So when you earn the money, what will you do with it?
For me, I'll save for the education for my kids.
So you'll send the money back home?
Back home, yes. Back home. And save a little, and half of it will be sent to my son.
Who will look after your sons when you're in Kuwait?
I have my parents and my sister.
Right. Is that the same for many of you, that you have children, you leave the children here and you go work? Yes. How many years will you work abroad?
2 years.
So most of you are saying 2 or 3 years.
2 or more.
Do you think it actually helps the Philippines for so many of you to go abroad?
Yes, sir.
Why do you say that? Tell me why.
It helps for their economy.
Yeah,
Yes.
in our country, sir.
And we're proud of it. Actually, they actually recognize us. We OFW Filipino overseas workers are heroes. They they recognize us.
Yeah.
We are the heroes in our country.
Because we OFW, we're the one who bring dollars here in Philippines.
Here's where tens of millions of Filipinos want to escape from: the slums. This is Tondo in Manila, overcrowded and squalid. Its residents stuck in a social and economic twilight zone, abandoned by the state. Officially, 1 in 4 Filipinos lives below the poverty line. That's 25 million people. Tondo survives on garbage. It's where much of the city's rubbish is picked over and stripped of anything of value. Even the scraps of meat left on the bones of fast food chicken are recycled and sold. Cheryl Gonzalez and her family eke out an existence recycling cooking oil. She showed me the family's tiny living space, which they've split in 2. So, at night, Cheryl, all the children, they go up and they sleep on top of this this wooden pallet here. Yeah. And you and your husband, you sleep here. Yeah. And you have a television.
Yes.
And Cheryl is now pregnant with child number 11. Tell me when you had your first baby. How old were you?
16.
16 years old.
16 years old, nagka-baby na ako. 16 years old. Tapos, taon-taon po ito.
How old are you now?
30.
Did you want to have so many children?
Hindi ko naman po ginusto yung maraming anak po ko. Siyempre, hindi rin po ako nakapag-plan na pumunta ng center. Kaya po nagkakaroon siya ng sunod-sunod na. Hindi po ako nakapunta ng center.
If you could go back to being 16 years old, how many children would you choose to have?
3 children.
You'd have 3. Why?
Tatlo. Tatlo. Ganyan, pinakamagandang ano.
At night, Manila's street children gather in their regular haunts. These are kids for whom home is a highway underpass or a back alley. Some are orphaned or abandoned, others are runaways. Many have taken to sniffing glue, crime and prostitution. It's estimated there may be 100,000 children living on the streets of Metro Manila. Why did you feel like you had to get away?
Yung pagbibisyo, tsaka yung pagiging makulit. Tapos yung magbo-boyfriend.
You have drugs out here on the streets?
Yes,
What kind of drugs?
marijuana.
How do you pay for these drugs?
I'm still people in the street.
You steal from people in the street?
Yes.
How much money?
Mga 100.
100 pesos.
Yes.
That's $2, $3, yeah. It seems to me your life is very dangerous and it's very bad for you.
Okay lang po sa akin.
How many years have you lived on the streets here in Manila?
10.
Why did you not stay with your family?
Na para hindi nila ako iniintindi. Para pinapabayaan na rin kami natin mga magkakapatid. Tapos mga kapatid ko, lumalayas na rin. So isa-isa kami nagiging gago. Tulad mo.
Where do you get money?
Hindi na ako. Upload sa phone, mandukot. Tawag taxi. Ayun lang.
You must be in danger of being arrested by the police. Have you ever been arrested?
Lagi ako binubugbog ng mga polis. Naparusahan ako. Pero tinatanggap ka rin.
The Philippines government is trying to break the link between reproduction and deprivation. In the slums, community health workers are now authorized by law to distribute condoms, contraceptive pills, patches, and even information on sterilization, or ligation as they refer to it here, to women like Cheryl, who are struggling to cope with large numbers of children.
Kami ay mga tagalikhaan, tumutulong kami sa mga pamilya na gustong mag-family planning. Tumutulong kami sa mga kababaihan. Kung magtuturo kami sa iyo, okay lang ba? Gusto mo bang mag-family planning?
Opo.
Yan.
Anong gusto mo?
Anong gusto mong family
May
planning?
pills,
Pipili ka.
condom,
Ito yung mga ipinamigay
ligation,
like gusto mo nang magpalagi. So, pwede ka namin tulungan doon. Ito yung mga babasahin para malaman mo kung ano yung gagamitin ng family planning. Bakit po ligation yung gusto mo?
Ba't para matigil na rin po yung ano ko, yung
para
dami na namin.
Ilang taon ka na ba sa kalagayan niya?
So, poor women in the Philippines have something new: reproductive choice.
You both encourage families to use the condom.
Yes. Yes.
Is it easy to persuade particularly the men to use the condom?
It's not easy. It's not easy. It's not easy. Because of the masculine figure of the man. They don't want to use condom. They are not happy.
Is it because they feel it will spoil their experience?
Yes.
Yes, if they said if they use a condom, it lessens the thrill.
It lessens the thrill. What do you say to them?
Condom is a dual protection, and it must better if you use condom.
The church says abstinence.
Yes, abstinence.
Does that message work in a community like
No. It depends on the husband and wife.
I suppose what I'm wondering is whether the church's public message creates a problem for you in your community health work.
Yes. It creates a big problem.
I'm a Catholic, but if I go to church, the priest sermon is don't use family planning. So it affects me a lot.
I am a Catholic too, but I preferred for ligation. Why? Because I want to.
You mean you personally have had the ligation operation? You've been sterilized?
Yes, I've been sterilized. I've been sterilized for 18 years. And it's my choice. Why? I want to plan my family. I want my children to be in a good shape of education. I want to give them a good life. And also for me. It's my own health.
And do you ever think to yourself, maybe I'm not a good Catholic anymore?
No.
And for you, Jane, you say in your family, you and your husband use condoms.
Yeah.
And you believe that you can do that and be a good Catholic as well.
Yes. As long as I use condom and I plan for my family, I think I'm a better person.
Better person.
So how do you persuade people that they can have this family planning, this contraception, when the church says they should not?
I asked them, if you are sick, where did you go? To the church or to the doctor? They said we go to the doctor. So if they asking about their health, they go to the doctor and not to the church.
Not church.
The government's determination to make contraception an option for all has been driven by economics. The population of the Philippines is going up by 2 million people every year. By 2050, the total may hit 200 million, double the number today. Yes, the economy is growing, but the rising population is creating a poverty trap.
Those in the middle and upper class have number of children that they desire. Those in the lower socioeconomic class have more children. In other words, family size has been related, is directly proportional to the family socioeconomic status. Those who cannot afford it have more children, but those who can afford to rear up their children has just the adequate number of children, which boils down to one huge problem, and that is the availability and accessibility of family planning commodities among the poor. It's not enough for the government to work. It is for the families to be able to participate. And how can they do this? By being empowered with information, by being given services for them to decide.
The Philippines government reckons that without free access to contraception, poor families are routinely having more children than they're able to cope with.
The problem is a huge family size, where parents, mothers would have children right and left, and they will come to a point that they will start thinking about some of their children and sacrificing the others. In other words, they would decide to select 2, 3, or even 4 kids and leave the others on the streets. It's a very sad scenario, with some of the children being made to beg on the streets, where in fact they should be in schools. Some of the children making work very early in their lives because they have other siblings to feed. Yes, the government supports life, but we would like a better quality of life for every Filipino family, because that's what life is all about.
In Manila, cockfighting is big business. As more and more people pour into the city from the provinces, they've brought this bloody tradition with them. As the population challenge grows, so a bitter political standoff has played out. On one side, the state pushing family planning. On the other, the Catholic Church adamantly opposed to artificial contraception. Earlier this year, Pope Francis's visit to the Philippines illustrated the power of Rome. Up to 6 million of the nation's 90 million Catholics attended this Mass in Manila. Pope Francis defended traditional teaching. Family planning should be natural, not artificial, he said. His message, being against condoms, doesn't mean that good Catholics must inevitably breed like rabbits. The faithful seem conflicted. Polls show a majority of people support the government's reproductive health initiative. But the country's most senior Catholic cleric isn't giving ground.
The Church cannot reinvent a teaching. We are duty-bound to proclaim again and again the teaching that we have received. However, the Church also is mindful, because it is part of the teaching, that while this is the norm, we have also to be sensitive pastorally to the difficulties that persons and families face.
It seems roughly 70% of Filipinos now believe that using artificial forms of contraception, including the condom and the contraceptive pill, is acceptable. Now, I wonder if you're uneasy about your church
which of course is the faith of more than 80 million Filipinos,
Yes.
being so out of tune with the views, the feelings of the bulk of ordinary people in this country?
Well, this is not the first time that we have people whose opinions and positions on some issues don't always coincide with the official teaching. This is just one, no?
But this is a very big deal. I mean,
yes, it
here
is.
we sit in a country where 2 million people are being added to the population every year. And you know much better than me that we can walk just a mile or two from this lovely Archbishop's house and we can find the most desperate slums and poverty,
Yes.
and children living on the streets, and families unable to cope and still having yet more babies. So this is an issue that matters.
But the question is, how do we teach people how to be responsible parents? And there is always also a caution that if you legislate, what is the role of the government in the decision making of families regarding their size? Are we not also giving the government leeway for some sort of a dictatorship, even on matters that really are the purview of couples? This is something that we also have to create.
But Cardinal, this isn't about dictatorship. This is simply about allowing the poorest of the people in this country access to free condoms, free contraceptive pill, and if they want it, sterilization. That's what this is really about.
This is something that we also have to be careful about. People have a choice if they want to be sterilized or not. But what we are afraid of is with this legislation, some people might not even be asked whether they like it or not.
I want to quote to you 2 community health workers, Jane and Sarah, that I met just the other day in Tondo, one of the poorest of the slums.
Oh, yes.
They said to me, collectively, they said, in our opinion, they both said, we're good Catholic women, we believe, we're of the faith. And they said, we refuse to accept that we are bad Catholics because we choose to use the condom and we choose to allow others access to the condom as well. What do you say to them?
The duty of the teachers of the faith is to form the conscience. But in the end, when the conscience makes a decision, that is between the person and his or her God. Our role as a teacher is before the decision that the person makes, you help form the conscience, but truth to say, when the person makes a decision, then we're also hands off there. It's between God and the person.
In the Philippines, the Catholic Church casts a long shadow. The battle over contraception is still being waged. The outcome will do much to determine whether economic growth or population growth dominates the country's horizon.